Hello, this is Spider Down of the Secret Balls. This is Mike of Genuine Chit-Chat, and this is the final film of Forbidden Worlds Film Festival 2026, and we're looking at Star Night.
So this is a film you've probably never heard of. We'd never heard of it.
Definitely.
It is from 1985, and on IMDb it has less than 1,000 reviews, which is probably the smallest I've ever seen a film.
I looked
but
on-
it has Harvey Keitel in it. Okay, it's there's a huge actor in it.
And Klaus Kinski.
Yeah,
Kinski, big
and
one.
no one's heard of this. No one. What were you going to say? Sorry.
I was going to say, I looked at Letterboxd, 245 reviews on Letterboxd.
There are like short films made that
Yeah.
have got more than that on there. Like, it's crazy. And so it's one of those things. And to warn everyone, to say, so with Finworld Film Festival 2026, we have reviewed, I think, 13 movies. We've also done 3 interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
Things have been coming out on Genuine Chit-Chat and on Spider Down the Secret Balls, video stuff, audio stuff. This day we watched 4 movies today. It's currently 2 in the morning.
No breaks.
No breaks. No, we are absolutely knackered. We've had a fantastic time. It's been a joy. There's going to be loads of social media posting over the coming weeks. But that's why if you're watching this thinking, why are these guys so frazzled? Please, if this is your first time tuning in, please check out the other Forbidden Worlds Film Festival coverage of this year and last year's as well. And check out our
Less
stuff.
frazzled.
We're going to be a lot more high energy.
Yeah.
We're at the finish line now. And this film is an odd one.
Yes.
So this film, I didn't know anything about this. The general premise is that in like medieval times, I think in England,
I'm going to say.
an alien spaceship comes down, and this group of this little village and a castle, they think it's a dragon.
Yeah.
Now, that sounds like a really cool premise, but it's actually like a pseudo Monty Python style comedy
Yeah.
that no one has ever heard of over here. It was made in Spain.
Spanish, yeah.
The name of the film is actually a Spanish name. And actually, in Spain, it was quite big in the year that it came out.
7th highest grossing film of the year in Spain.
Yeah, in 1985, I think it was. And the critics in Spain seemed to quite like it, so the public. And then anywhere else in the world, everyone hated it and no one saw it, which is odd. I'm glad I saw this. I'll never watch it again, probably. But it was fun.
Yes.
And it was silly.
So, yeah, I think that, like, as I said with Conquest, I think if you had a bad dub on that, it would have been more enjoyable, because I think that would just elevate it slightly. I think with this, I think it absolutely made the film.
Yes.
I think if this was just, the subtitled dialogue, I think, yes, there'd be a few titters and a few laughs, but I think some of the delivery and clearly some of the characters are over the top characters, especially the Green Knight.
He's so Monty Python.
Yeah, he is the most. That is so Holy Grail.
That was someone watched Holy Grail and went, this is like a Monty Python character that didn't make it.
Well, it's like the Knights who say knee, isn't it?
It's
like,
the Knights who knee.
You can't cross.
Mixed with the Black Knight.
Yeah, and Robin the Good, I think, or Good Robin.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
Good Robin, Sir Good Robin.
Yeah, Sir Good Robin. That's it. Yeah, that's the one. So yeah, there's a little bit of that in there, but yeah, Harvey Keitel absolutely knows what film he's in.
He's the best part of the whole
Yeah, he's over the top. He's silly. He's
the reactions.
Yeah, he's got his usual American accent. Nobody else does. Yeah, the female character is like a little brat, like a proper spoiled brat.
She's like a princess, and essentially, so the spaceship comes down, and then they kind of half pursue it, and then it turns out that there's one alien on board who can't speak English or anything, but speaks in like beeps.
Yeah, like musical notes.
Yeah, but the princess can understand, but he's in like a spacesuit, like an astronaut spacesuit. Yeah. And she seemingly falls in love with him because she's got loads of suitors.
Screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got loads of suitors going after her,
Yeah.
including Harvey Keitel, and she's not interested in any of them, but she falls in love with this alien, and you're not really sure if the alien falls in love with her. Yeah. He's like a famous in Spain singer.
Yes.
And Miguel something.
Yeah, his dad was a famous matador.
But he's quite androgynous. He's got quite a Bowie look.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bowie could have done
well. Sting was, they wanted Sting, but he wasn't available.
Yeah, get Sting and get Bowie, combine them as this guy. And he's got no dialogue, spoken dialogue. And so it's kind of the main plot is this: the princess falling in love with this alien, and then obviously every time he kind of beeps or whatever, she says what he says back, which is really irritating.
It's the Han Solo Chewbacca thing.
Yeah, but done way worse.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's a really annoying character, not very pleasant. There's like a bad ADR going on with what she's saying as well. But that takes up like half, if not 60% of the screen time. All the other stuff is generally pretty good. The king is a bit balmy and it's fun. Harvey Keitel is amazing.
Yeah, the religious monk character's funny.
Yeah, the friar. Him and Harvey Keitel are like the comedic duo.
Sure.
They both hate each other and they're both idiots. Yeah. And they're both like fumbling their way through stuff, which is fun.
There is a surprising amount of slapstick as well. There's a lot of pratfalls and falling over, knocking things over, falling asleep when it's inconvenient, and there's a lot of those kind of obvious humor, obvious gags.
Yeah.
Some of it I did find, even though obviously it's meant to be funny and it is a comedy, it's quite clearly a comedy.
Yeah.
And a send-up or a parody of these, night films kind of thing, sword and sorcery films.
Yeah.
But there was parts where I was like, this is also bad.
It is.
This is also kind of cringe. This is kind of awful. There's a moment where it's meant to be funny and it's meant to be a callback to Taxi Driver, which Harvey Keitel is in.
Oh, okay.
But he's not playing the same role that this is a reference to. But he says, "Are you talking to me?"
Oh, and he said, "Are ye?"
Yeah, are ye talking to me? And I was just like, that was facepalm time for me.
It was also weird because he doesn't talk like that at all the rest of the film.
No.
It's just that one, like a random line.
Yeah.
It almost feels like parts of this was kind of like improv, but first draft improv. Yeah. As in, they just improv'd it and then kept the first effort of the improv in at points.
I think they almost went, this is the story we have to get across in this scene, but let's come up with something funny to do within it right now,
today,
on set,
on this
moment. What can we do? Oh, why doesn't he fall over? Or why doesn't he say this? Or why doesn't he go, yeah.
That bit confused me a lot.
Yeah.
I'm saying yeah quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I think the first 45 minutes or so was actually really funny.
Yes, I agree.
Once the princess was on the alien ship, just talking to him, it was so boring. It was so boring, and so
it was never clear what the fuck he was doing here. Like they're like,
not even in a funny way.
They're not even like in a funny way. They're like because they talk about the seven spirits, and Klaus Kinski plays this kind of like druid, alchemist kind of character. He's trying to figure out how to create gold out of lead and all this sort of shit. And it probably one of the nicer characters he's played, and he's an awful human being. Just look him up. But like she sees images, and it's like you said, it's the Chewbacca Han Solo thing, but it's really poorly communicated. And she's such a fucking brat. And I know the character is meant to be a brat, and we're meant to laugh at it. Like, there's a moment very early on, which got a big laugh, where it was like, "Now, Dad, I need you to talk about my problems. Talk about me." And it's like, haha, great, funny.
And he's like the king, basically, of the era.
But, like, again, we don't ever see the two characters meet. She disappears, and it's assumed the dragon has eaten her. But she comes back, and she's kind of catatonic. She wakes up and goes, "Oh, I'm in love with him." But we never really see the love story begin. And then later on, we see them kind of stroking each other and communicating.
But he could never take the astronaut-y outfit off. They could
very xenomorphy as well. I got a very xenomorphy
vibe. It was cool, but weird. Yeah. And then it's just like, this film is very uneven. And I feel like it was... The princess and the alien stuff wasn't funny enough.
No.
And it felt like the rest of the film was trying to compensate for that, but didn't really have any jokes. No. Like, even The Green Knight, the first time I saw it, I was like, that's silly. The second time, I was like, that's hilarious. The third time, I was like, okay, that's obvious and not that funny. And then the fourth time, I was like, okay.
Well, it should be the rule of three. The comedy should be rule of three. So you need to kind of escalate or alter it slightly each time.
Yeah.
And it was never really as funny as it started off being.
I think the second time when he was peeing was the funniest.
Sure. But
again, out of four.
I think for me, that was kind of... They didn't set that up enough that he was peeing. I didn't even realize what he was doing, or that was peeing, because it was because the horses are flying by, and then he goes, "Oh, I'm undisposed." Well, and I was like, "Was he peeing? Was he what?" Like, it was very like, if we heard like more tinkling or something,
you could hear him pee.
Yeah, but I don't think it was clear enough for me.
I do agree. It wasn't like obvious.
No, which I think is a problem for this film. And
half the jokes are so obvious it's kind of annoying, and the other half of the jokes are like, was that a joke? It's very odd, but it is that kind of thing that if you enjoy the Holy Grail, you probably would enjoy this.
Yeah.
I'm glad I've seen it, and I did have fun.
Yes.
But it's not funny enough to watch again, and all of the princess stuff is really dry, and it is really lame and boring. And the alien has no personality at all.
Well, there's no voice, there's no personality. It's just like, I'm weird.
It's almost like Jim from The Office reaction
This
shots.
is it. The whole film.
And the occasional, not an eyebrow
smile,
thing, just like
it's like half smile.
head turned sideways.
Yeah.
Is Harvey Keitel and the Friar character is doing all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of it. Like the end, the first 45 minutes or so was really good.
Yeah.
The last 20 minutes was all right.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it's just that middle bit was such a slog, and you didn't know where it was going.
Yeah, and it doesn't really make much.
But it was
sense.
quite sketchy.
Yeah,
Because there's like when he's getting his armor fitted,
felt-
that was
yeah.
really funny.
Sure.
And there are bits which are quite funny, but it was really the
In
comedic
isolation,
duo.
yeah.
It was. You could really, if you cut out all the princess stuff,
because it
would be a funny
It
40
takes
minute
the love story quite seriously at the end.
which is weird.
Yeah, which I was like,
The
why,
actual ending of it is crap.
why have we been so farcical and mad and over the top and madcap?
Yeah.
And now we're like, oh no, this is a genuine love story. This is he's going to leave, or he's going to die, or he's going to, because he steals the Green Knight's horse and jousting stick because she's like, fight for me, fight for me. You would fight for me.
And I thought the joke was he's not actually in love with her because he disappears, and I thought, oh, that's funny. The joke is he was never in love with her because he never shows it, and then he does come back, and you're like, that's kind of taken away from the joke.
Yeah,
but it wasn't a joke
because it's meant to be like him coming in there is in a film when the cavalry comes in.
Yeah.
When Return of the King, when Aragorn comes in with all the ghosts and shit, like that's when you're like, oh shit, it's back, and like and it's supposed to get you revved up for the final fight, the final battle. But I was like, who the fuck is that? Oh, it's him, right? Okay, because I thought it was a Green Knight because it's the green horse and everything. You go, okay, this will be interesting, but see what happens here. But yeah, it was just it loses. They don't set it up, and it's supposed to be this, and all this weird comedy, and now all of a sudden we've got to buy into a tragic love story that you've done nothing with.
That then actually ends up not being tragic at all.
At all.
But I will say one other comedic thing we forgot about, and I think we'll wrap this up, is the villagers.
Yes,
the villagers were great, but again, they were only in the first half.
That is a good. That's the rule of three,
because
the guy comes to pronounce things, and it basically the daughter's gone missing, so now they have to wear black.
But they're all poor, so they've got nothing.
So then you see them dyeing their clothes, and then immediately she comes home, and they go, get rid of everything that's black. It's now colourful garments to celebrate joy.
No mourning at all. And then the third time he appears, no one even talks to him, and they just throw stuff at him. And I was like, that was funny.
Yes.
I could use more of the villagers, not interacting with that guy doing that same joke, but even the starting scene with the villagers interacting with Harvey Keitel, and that was funny. We're not paying taxes, Tiny and the Dragon.
And I think, obviously this is an older film, so this is an older joke, but they're also giving that character like a lisp, like a speech impediment, which is supposed to be comedic as well. Obviously not comedic now.
I think his voice was funny, the lisp.
It was just him being a bit nervous and a bit geeky was funnier but they were trying to, I think they're doubling down on the comedy. And there is a line at the end when she returns with the Space Knight where they're like, oh, what colour do we have to wear now? Which was nice.
The villagers was good, Harvey Keitel and the Friar were good, but that is only less than half the film, and the other half is just this weird love story.
Yeah, the Klaus Kinski stuff is odd because it doesn't really fit. It doesn't really add much.
It's literally just a payoff for the ending.
Yeah, I think he's plot stuff. He's plot armor, plot whatever. Like he has to get the story moving.
Again, at the start when he was interacting with Harvey Keitel the Friar,
humor there.
Because he's so straight-faced and so to the point. The king interacting with these two idiots, and this guy's really good at his job. That was like a funny little ensemble comedy bit.
Yeah.
Because it was like, this guy knows exactly what he's doing, and these two are idiots that keep going, this isn't going to work. You need to pray to the Lord to get this thing done. And then it gives him like a bit of medicine and it cures him instantly. Yeah. That was funny.
There's almost a bit of Blackadder here as well, like early Blackadder.
That was funny. But then again, about a third through the movie, the medicine guy, the alchemist, he goes down to the basement and he's just there for the rest of the movie, basically, until right at the end. And again, he's like, he's not funny by himself.
And that's another thing. There's a lot of stuff that's happening off screen, like the big elements in the story. So him falling in love with her, and then also the alchemist going to see him and meet him and understand him and learn from him. And he just says that when he returns. We don't actually see that. And there was an opportunity here. And I think they've just, unfortunately, I don't think it's, because I'd heard stuff about it going in prior that it wasn't amazing, and even the posts and some of the social media stuff about Forbidden World, and even the intro implied that it wasn't going to be very good, and they talked about possibly not even showing.
Yeah, they were considering not just
and I can see why they wouldn't, but I think the audience enjoyed it. I don't know if this is where I would place that film in the schedule.
I think that was the thing. We love Forbidden World Film Festival. We love the diverse things. I didn't love kind of Cave there.
Your favourite
Sorry,
film of all
Ty.
time.
I'm sorry, Ty. I didn't love that one.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
But this was an odd placement. Although I think it was fun and it had levity to it.
Yeah.
It was a pleasant way to end a film festival.
Yeah.
After we've watched,
I enjoyed the experience.
Yeah, but after there's 15 films in total at the film festival this time, ending it on like a film that actually just kind of fizzles out.
Yeah.
Is unusual.
Yeah. And I last year we loved Alligator. I think it was an excellent film to end on.
One of the best
Again,
movies.
very funny, very intentionally funny, but it did still have its horror elements. It worked.
And it was actually the ending was like a build up.
Absolutely, yeah, and it is
crazy.
you absolutely it's a slow build to the end. Excellent film, excellent choice. But yeah, this was an unusual pick, and again, the introduction did say we didn't know where to place this. We didn't know how to do it. We didn't know how to broach it. It's interesting. It's different. We're really interested. They said we're really interested to see what you think of it.
Yeah.
And I think the Letterboxd reviews will be interesting for us to read as well.
Yeah. I think generally it is positive, but I think it is this film. Unfortunately, it suffers from. It really felt like almost they started making the film seriously.
Yeah.
And then they decided, oh crap, this is really dry. Let's now make it funny.
Exactly.
But the thing is, the actual idea of it, if you did it as a serious film, which is what I thought it was initially before
I
we
thought
came
that
out
as
this
well.
film.
I wasn't aware that it had this much comedic elements.
Yeah, I know it was Spanish, but it was English language Spanish. But like, I was like, if this was a serious film of a group of medieval people having aliens come down and attack them, and then think it's a dragon, and then trying to attack it and stuff and be serious, that's a really good idea. Or if that happens and it's a comedy, that could be a really good idea. Sure. But not that it's an alien love story. And the fact that they think it's a dragon is they end up just calling the alien spaceship a dragon.
Yeah.
That's what it ends up becoming. And like, I thought, a medieval kingdom, they're going to have to fight a dragon. And like, all that happens is at the start, they mention there's a dragon, and then the princess goes off, and then from about 45 minutes in, again, they just go, no one really actually cares that there's allegedly a dragon around anymore.
There's
no panic.
Initially, the taxes are going up to help with this dragon. It's stealing women or people or goats and what have you, and then they just stop paying the taxes.
Yeah.
And they kind of joke about it and are not bothered and not interested, not getting involved. And that's the joke that we see as the guy presents these decrees from the king.
Yeah.
They care less and less. So it's kind of like
it fizzles.
Yeah. We care less and less as the film goes on.
Yeah.
Ultimately.
But I'm still glad I watched it.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad it surprised me. I'm glad it was a comedy.
And it was actually funny.
It was genuinely funny, but also I don't think it's a good comedy. I wouldn't say it's a good comedy, but it was different and interesting and intriguing enough, and it surprised me and kept me engaged. But also, I think for me, of the festival's films, it's definitely on the lower end of the scale for me. I think.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree.
As funny as it was, I think it's still on the lower end of cringier material.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely agree. But that's it. So that does it for our Forbidden World coverage. So Forbidden Worlds 2026 has been myths and legend of the fantasy genre in general.
Absolutely.
We have done reviews for, I believe, 13 movies.
Yes.
We've got 3 reviews each out.
Yes,
with people at Forbidden Worlds Film Festival. They're going to be on the feeds of Genuine Chit-Chat and on Spider and the Secret Balls. They're going to be alternating, so you have to subscribe to both of us on the audio feeds and also on YouTube is all the video stuff. There's going to be clips on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok as well. Forbidden World, other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We've not covered the short films, but do go and check them out. They're all excellent. They're all really, really good, of a high quality. The winners of the awards deserve all their laurels and everything. Go support them. go and get the word out there for them. They're really good. Again, I don't know all the creators off the top of my head and all the names of the films, but they are listed. They're on the Letterboxd list on Forbidden Worlds, and they're on the social media, so go follow all those people. But yeah, some excellent stuff. Even though I know we've not actively reviewed them, I did want to just highlight that and say what a wonderful part of the festival, what a wonderful addition it's been for the last few years.
100% agree there. And so, yeah, make sure you follow Forbidden Worlds Film Festival on the social media platform of your choice or platforms. You'll see some of our stuff come up there that they repost, and also you'll get some information on the big screen, which is in October-ish time. They do a Halloween one-off day, I think.
And again, all the other people involved, all the vendors, all the associate watershed here in Bristol, and all the other different people involved, volunteers,
and keeping up to date with what they're going to do next year and when they reveal that. You can go on their website, sign up to the newsletter, and again, check out all the film, or check out some of the films that they've had at this festival. Obviously, we've reviewed the vast majority of them. Tell us what you've thought in all the comments and stuff. Tell us if you've watched any of them, and also please, it really helps out because we are on the press team as we were last year and this year. If you've enjoyed any of our coverage of Forbidden Worlds Film Festival, please contact Forbidden Worlds, message them on social media or comment on their posts and stuff and say, we've really enjoyed Mike and Dan of Genuine Chit-Chat and Spider and the Secret Wars interviewing the people all reviewing.
They made me aware of it. They made me interested in it. I never knew about this.
I watched this film because of that, and thank you for you guys putting it on. Just any engagement.
You were wrong for missing Hercules Returns.
You
should have seen that.
The only film we hadn't seen this weekend because we just needed a breather.
And it sounded like everyone had a rip-roaring time with it. But should we have picked another film? I'm sure Clan of the Cave Bear would have been the one Mike would have.
I would have rather not watched that.
If only we knew. But
it's a good talking point that's going to last forever. But friends, thank you so much for all of your support last year and also all of your support this year.
Thank you for Forbidden Worlds for having us on board again. We would do it anyway, even if we weren't part of the press team. I think we would.
I wouldn't. No, I would.
We would spend our hard cash, but we are very lucky and very blessed to be a part of it in any small fashion.
Exactly. I 100% agree. So friends, for the last time for Forbidden Worlds 2026 coverage, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your support. Go follow all the people we've said. And we will speak to you with our usual programming very soon. And then hopefully in 2027 for more Forbidden Worlds coverage.